We're checking our western bluebird boxes here today. Western bluebirds and mountain bluebirds nest out here. They're nesting in these boxes right here. We're not going to spend a long time here, but I want to check and see what the success is. We've been seeing the female flying in, and we checked it a couple weeks ago, and we had about 5 eggs. So let's check it today and see how they're doing. They look healthy. Oh, they look great. No mites. They look wonderful. It's been a good year for insect production. So let's get out of here and we'll say some more later. The bedrock of our mission at New Mexico Department of Game and Fish is the conservation of wildlife for future generations. So when we moved out here 10 plus years ago, it was only natural and fitting that we started a bluebird nest box trail. Both western and mountain bluebirds nest out here. They're native species to New Mexico and are year-round residents. And as we just saw, they've been very successful in one of our nest boxes. That's the western bluebird, and only the female can brood the eggs. She laid about 5 eggs in the middle of May, and as we just saw, they're doing really well. Bluebirds arrive here and nest at different times, even though they're year-round residents. And when we checked this one in early May, this is our second nest box, we found that it had only a couple eggs. They lay between 4 and 6 eggs, so our guess was that the female was just beginning to start the nest egg-laying process. So we're going to check this one really quick and see what's happening here. Very likely this is earlier than the first one we looked at. So let's take a quick look and see where these nestlings are, or if they've hatched. Ah, fantastic. That looks great. That looks great. 5 really healthy young nestlings that must have hatched 3 or 4 days ago. She's been feeding them on insects, spiders, ants, grasshoppers, dragonflies, things like that. In the winter, as adults, they switch over to the juniper berries and mistletoes. Even though these are bluebird nest boxes that were set up, other species of birds will take advantage of them. Those are not the blue eggs of the bluebirds. Those are the brown mottled eggs of the ash-throated flycatcher. Today, this is our 4th nest box. Let's take a look and see what we can find today. All right. This has been a very good year. 1, 2, 3, 4. Excellent, excellent. Why would you want to put up bluebird boxes? Well, besides the obvious of how much fun it is in teaching conservation of wildlife, it's also a great way to help out the bird species themselves. Over the years, they've lost a lot of habitat. They've also had a lot of competition from introduced species of birds, like the European starling, which nests in boxes like this, and also the house sparrows, both aggressive non-native species that outcompete bluebirds. Well, we looked at 6 boxes today. One was blown out with a winter storm, which was unusable, but this one behind us, the 5 eggs, looks like they all hatched. They're well under their way to being fledged. They've got great feathers growing, and it's been a great year. And that's reflecting on the great winter moisture we had, producing lots of insects. And that has been translated into great reproductive success for these western and mountain bluebirds and the ash-throated flycatcher. If you choose to do nest boxes, there's some important things to remember. One is make sure you find out which species you're trying to attract and get the right nest box. It has to be usually unpainted, untreated wood. You can see that we've got snake guard on these T-posts to prevent snakes like coach whips and other snakes, bull snakes, getting into the nest. Once they are starting nesting and you've attracted a bird, they are protected fully under state and federal laws. So you can't harass them or mess with them, really. So it is important to know that they are a protected species. One of the other things you can also do is make sure you keep your cats indoors. Both domestic cats and feral cats are really severe predators on all sorts of wildlife, including billions of birds nationwide. Please don't feed feral cats. They present a severe threat to native wildlife. If you find a baby bird in your backyard, don't panic. You can actually pick it up carefully, and if it's not injured and it's got feathers and it seems like it's hopping around, its mother is almost certainly, or parents are nearby. You can put it back up into a tree or shrub out of harm's way, away from free roaming cats, and that would be the best thing to do. Now, on those occasions where we've had some windstorms or things like that, what we had recently, if you find a nest, go ahead and, if you can find where it was, put it back safely. That also will work too. There's this common misconception that there's somehow that birds can smell our scent and that they will not accept the birds back, and that's just not true at all. Well, I hope you've enjoyed our tour of the Bluebird Nest Box Trail out here and learned something about bluebirds and their nesting requirements. They're a valuable, beautiful addition to our New Mexico heritage and our landscape.